Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. It is Friday, the 22nd of October, and it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And we are at the corner of Avenue Road and Bloor Street. I don't know if the distance, if the camera will pick it up, but in the distance, out yonder, you can see the CN Tower. Today's video, we are walking northbound on the east side of Avenue Road. So it's been a while since I've been down here at this time of day, and it is busy. This is the new Hyatt Hotel. I think it's still called the Hyatt. I'm not sure. Yeah, there is just across the street there. It looks like there's still some unoccupied space, so maybe it's not fully opened up, but here it is. It's a lot different than the one that stood there before this renovation took place. It was out of commission for at least a couple of years. You can see just across the street there's some artwork. The drive-through and the where you would go in with your vehicle is the same, so they still have the entryway for vehicles, but the top part, that didn't exist before. There wasn't that second floor there connecting the two buildings. I don't think there was. I think that's a new feature after this renovation, and it looks like it's already open for business. I don't think it was open for business in the summer. I think this is pretty new. It is a very nice hotel. And we're in Yorkville right now. There has been so much change to this little village. So much change. I was walking along Bloor Street, walking east along Bloor Street just moments ago before I started the video, and I was just thinking, I was walking along, you know, there's Tiffany's and these big name luxury brand shops, where once there used to be little independent stores, and the shop size was a lot smaller. They were pretty bougie shops that were along Bloor Street, what I'm remembering from, you know, when I first came here 32 years ago. A lot of little shops, beautiful, but now they're all gone, and they're taken up by those bigger shops. Now this has opened up recently. This used to be a really cute little coffee shop, and it was shut for quite some time. Now it is reopened, and it looks really pretty on the inside. You can see the chandeliers. It looks really, really nice. Let's see what it looks like from across the street. Now this building is still here that I'm pointing at right now. You can see it's pretty old. But we're just going to turn around now and look at that. You can see across the street. It looks really cute inside. I'm not sure if it's dinner, if it's a coffee shop. It used to be like a dessert coffee shop that stood there before. But I'm glad to see that that space is occupied. When I left home at about 2 o'clock this afternoon, I was +7, and this is, yeah, so this is slated to come down. Yeah, they're going to make condos and apartments. But this is iconic. Like this side of Avenue Road is iconic. building is what I'm trying to say. And there used to be, right through this door here, was the entryway to Vidal Sassoon's salon. And I remember when I first came here, I thought, wow, Vidal Sassoon is here, because in Calgary we didn't have that salon in Calgary. So, you know, Toronto, big city. El Posto is still here. This was one of the top bougie restaurants in Toronto when I first came. I don't hear it talked about much anymore, and I can't remember the last time we were here. I do remember though coming to this restaurant for a TIFF. There was a TIFF function and the Toronto International Film Festival, and a friend of mine received tickets from her boss. So I remember we were so excited to come, and it was a private event, and we only got in, of course, because her boss couldn't use those tickets. And so we had the best time. It was really bougie, and there was a name. I remember there was like a pseudo celebrity, I guess a celebrity, that was at that event. And some of you that are of my generation may know Roger Ebert was a film critic, and he had a partner. I can't remember his, but I remember his last. I don't remember his first name, but his last name was Siskel, and it was Siskel and Ebert, and they were film critics. And anyhow, they were very enjoyable to listen to. Anyhow, Roger Ebert was at that function at El Posto restaurant after it was in the evening, I know that, and I remember it being very crowded. I don't know, it was Hugo Boss that sponsored it, but I remember Roger Ebert was the celebrity that I recognized. I'm sure there are others perhaps that I didn't know, but I just remember being just so enthralled, thinking, how cool am I to be at a private TIFF event. And look at the sky, how beautiful. You can see the sun just peeking behind the clouds. Hopefully the camera will pick it up, and it's pretty cloudy. But it really is really pleasant. It's just outside. The weather, the temperature, there's no wind. It's just really, really nice. I hope everybody's doing well. It's been a hot minute since I've recorded. So I had errands to do downtown today. And I thought, gee, you know what? Why not record Avenue Road on my way home? Now I have recorded part of this walkway once before when I did the Yorkville Perimeter Walk. And this past summer, I mentioned before that I only like to run in the warm weather months, and it was actually 2 weeks ago. Today was the last time I actually ran because I could still wear shorts, and it was a beautiful, beautiful Friday, I remember. And I only really like to run in the morning. And anyhow, one of my runs takes me up this route. I run down Yonge and then across Bloor. then I cut down one of these side streets here. Oh, pretty. How pretty. Pretty. So you can see like Soto across the street, that's an original building. The John Paul and Co., that building there, that has always been like that building. There's been different businesses in there, but that's definitely an original building. This is original, and this used to be a restaurant once upon a time, and it doesn't seem to be able to maintain a business. What is it now? Oh, it's called Figures. But it used to be a restaurant, and I remember shortly after I came here, a friend and I went to that location. It was when it was a restaurant. I haven't ever been back since, because it always seems to have been changing hands and never seemed to be open for very long. Oops, sorry about that. This used to be a really cool, funky door store, and you can tell it's for lease, as you can see, but you can see the funky door here. Funky door. Yeah, it was a really bougie door store, and years ago, probably, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, maybe longer than that, but anyway, we decided to change our front door, and so we of course did our research and checked out different merchants that carried doors. So we did go to that door store. Don't remember the name of what it was called, and who knows whether they've gone out of business or where they went, but their doors were frightfully expensive, but very cool, like cool doors. Gorgeous puppy! Yeah. Gorgeous puppy! Can I say hi? Yes. Hi, Maggie! Oh my goodness! Hi, that's so cute. Yeah, I know, she's a puppy, right? Yeah, she's beautiful. Thank you. Just had to say hi. I may have I've got that dog a little bit too excited. Puppies are so excitable. Wow, look at the traffic. Welcome back, rush hour. Easy for me to say. I'm not stuck in it. However, I am breathing in all this rush hour exhaust. So back in the day when I used to train, and I used to do a lot of hill training, and that just basically means you know, running a lot of hills for, you know, to build endurance and whatever other benefits there were. I used to run up here, and just about 2 blocks from here, there is a hill going up Avenue Road, and I used to run it. But this year is the first year that during my runs I stop at the base of the hill, because I'm just not interested in doing hills anymore. And there's a very popular hill run on Poplar Plains, which is a few blocks east of Avenue Road. It's a beautiful street, beautiful homes, where I would do my hill training, and I'd literally just run up the hill, turn around the top of the hill and run down. When I got to the bottom of the hill, turn around and run it up again. So I would spend an hour doing that, running up and down the hills. And the only thing I liked less than hill training was speed training. And that was, I can't remember now, I try to forget. It was running, I think, at a normal pace for 5 or 10 minutes, I don't remember. And then running as fast as you can for a minute. I think it was a minute. So 10 minutes normal, 1 minute as fast as you can. And you would do this, gee, I don't know how many reps we did of that. I so disliked speed training. I so disliked that. That was probably the thing I liked to do least. I didn't like doing hills either, but I would do hills any day before I had to do speed training. So, you know, it's interesting, every time or at least it is to me, every time I ascend upon a hill when I'm walking, it always takes me back to my training days. And more often than not, when I come upon that hill, any hill, I'm always thankful that I'm walking it, not running it. And to this day, I still have those thoughts. Now, I had read something a while back that they're talking about expanding the sidewalks along Avenue Road. And I was talking to my husband about it today, and he thinks the sidewalk expansion, he thinks it's north of Eglinton. But I do think that they should consider sidewalks along this street, because there are portions of the street, like just across there, it's hard for you to see, but that's a really super narrow sidewalk. This sidewalk here is not so narrow. You know, people can comfortably pass each other going in opposite directions, but across the street it's tight. And further up, once we get on top of the hill, there are railings along the edge of the sidewalk against the road, and it's tight. It's like this. It's tight. It's understandable to be tight in here because of the scaffolding and the construction going on. And that's just temporary, but when we get to that area, I'll try and remember to point that out, how tight it is, how narrow the sidewalk is. Oh, a moment of silence. That's not gonna last. Here it comes. Now this is coming along, this new construction. So what used to be here, right at this corner, there used to be like a house. And I think the house belonged to the school. There's a school here at the top of the hill. And where these townhouses are now, there was a track. And you probably won't be able to see it, but just beyond you can see some, hopefully you can see some green space. The track has been sort of relocated, a circular track around a field. And that was done a few years ago. And then within the last 2 years, this new build has been coming along. Don't think anybody's living here yet. No, it doesn't look like it. No, there's still a lot of raw material on the inside as I pry inside. Yeah, these people are going to need window coverings, that's for sure. You can see the school field. I think the school, I think it's called Oaklands, but we will see once we get to the top of the hill. So I used to stop right at the bottom of this hill and walk my way up when I was running this year. It's the first time I've walked a hill during a run. You know, the thing about running is you have to want to do it, especially if you're training for long distance or endurance running, or you know, anything competitive. You have to want to do it, and you have to be able physically to do it. So you need the psychology and the physiology components to actually be successful. And I remember sometimes when I was training, wow, somebody's angry. When I was training, the odd time I would wait, because I'd only run in the morning, train in the morning, and the odd time, for whatever reason, on a training day, I wouldn't run in the morning because maybe it was raining, or maybe I just wasn't in the mood, and I kept saying, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. And if it was on a weekend, I probably, what I would do actually is maybe leave in the afternoon. And I remember that whole morning, while I was doing other things, thinking, you know, I could have been home by now from my run and enjoying the day, instead of living with the anticipation and the anxiety of having to do this run that I keep putting off. And I remember going out, and it'd be like noon, and I would typically run the K. Gardner Beltline. That'd be part of my running path, and you know, every step I was just mentally cursing and complaining about how I didn't want to be doing that run, until I realized, you know, it's my own fault, but instead of complaining and being grumpy during my run, which made the run very unenjoyable, if that's the word, not enjoyable, I decided that if I'm ever in a funk when I'm doing a run, and when you're training for a run or for anything competitive, you have to train, you have to stick to a training schedule. And I thought, if I'm ever in a funk again about doing a training run, I'm going to think about the fact that A, I can physically do this. I know I can. And B, I want to do this. And there are people who would probably like to be running but can't for whatever reason. So I decided then to change my thinking, be grateful for my ability, and it was interesting how that would change my mood. So now when I run, I know I don't have to do hills because it's okay. It's okay not to do hills. And it's, it was hard at first for me not to do that without feeling guilty, like to do a run this year and avoid or walk the hill. And that's just because of years of training, and you had to do hills, and it was all part of the process. Until I realized this year, I don't have to do anything. The fact that I'm out for a leisurely run, enjoying a beautiful day, is enough. But it's interesting how things are embedded in your thought process after years of doing it over and over and over, and to change one thing. It took me a long time to realize that. So this year was the first year that I said to myself, it's okay to do a run and ignore the hills. So yeah, I think this year's Toronto running days are over. However, we do have plans to go down south. And I am bringing my running shoes. I'm looking forward to not necessarily getting on a plane, but I am looking forward to a change of scenery. Yeah, both David and I are looking forward to laying on lounge chairs and just being feet away from the ocean. I will bring my camera and I will record, so I will share that with you. We're not leaving until next month, and luckily I'm I have 2 different vaccinations, and the border, the US wasn't recognizing mixed vax, so now they are, thankfully. So yeah, we are heading down south. And swim in warm water. I make this walk sign. West on St. Clair. So I think I'm going to walk up to Heath Street. I did a Heath Street video in the late spring, early summer. No, I did it in May, I think. I think it was May that I did it because I think there was still, it was still a bit cool, I think. Some snow, maybe. Anyway, I did a Heath Street East walk and a Heath Street West walk. So I think I'll conclude the video when we get to Heath Street. And I don't think I'm cycling anymore this year. David and I did a really good cycle to the Leslie Street spit a few weeks ago, and that's the last time I was on a bike. Last time I was on my bike. I do have an older bike set up on some sort of gizmo thing, where the bike is mounted on a platform, and I will cycle that once I decide to get back into doing cardio. I haven't done cardio work in a while. Yeah, since my last run 2 weeks ago, so that's not good. Not good. Yeah, here we are, Heath Street West. So I'm just going to cross the street. I'll conclude today's video. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've had a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. And please consider subscribing to my channel and clicking on that like box. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. This is Boomer Girl Walking, signing off.